Timeout taken by Priest River.
Timeout.
5:20 to go in the game. It is 2nd and 20 for the Spartans. We'll be back.
You always hear on the radio, cross the bridge to savings. But it's true. St. Mary's Harvest Foods has what you need when you need it. And if you don't see it, then just ask one of the friendly staff and they will gladly help you find what you need. From meat, super fresh produce, and dairy, St. Mary's Harvest Foods will save you big on the things you need the most. No time to cook tonight? Then check out the hot deli for something quick for dinner. St. Mary's Harvest Foods, where you truly can cross the bridge to safety.
Well, we are back. Once again, I want to apologize. I don't know how long we were disconnected from the studio there. There is one thing I can do on our end, on my end here in the booth, to make sure that I hopefully can hear if we do get disconnected. So I'm going to have to start doing that to hear that dial tone or that disconnected sound when that does happen. So it does happen on occasion, but we are back. 5:20 to go in the 4th, 18-8. St. Mary's trails the Spartans. The Spartans are driving 2nd and 20 on the Lumberjack 28-yard line. One receiver to the near side. Matthews takes a snap, handoff to the near side on that little double handoff, and it's going to be Caprinko. Or not Caprinko, it was Figert fumbles the ball. Recovering it is Caden Morris, and I can't say that, but I hope they give it to St. Mary's because they will. Caden Morris recovers at the 20-yard line. So Figert fumbles it. Recovered by Caden Morris. That ball came out right at the end as he was going down to the ground. And actually the ball was recovered at the 20. Looks like it's recovered at the 16, 17-yard line. So
First and 10 Lumberjacks in the 12.
So Lumberjacks will get the ball back. They don't got a lot of time left. Going to get Barta going deep to Gustav, and it's just out of Gustav's reach. Gustav had to turn into defender as Jack Barta let that thing fly down the sideline. Gustav has the wheels. I'd like to see Gustav just go on a full-on sprint. He probably could have gotten to that, but I'm not sure if he knew that Jack was going to throw it that far. I know St. Mary's realized they've got to score fast with only 5:04 to go if they want a chance at winning this. It's 18-8. They are down by 2 possessions. Up to the line of scrimmage. One receiver to each side of the formation. Marcus Speakman is at wide receiver. Gustav to the near side. Barta looking. He's going to throw it to Grimaldo. Grimaldo makes the catch and breaks free. There's a block in the back. No, they're not going to throw a flag on that. I'm surprised. Grimaldo all the way down to the 43-yard line of Priest River, and there is a flag.
Roy's going to tackle, and that's another Lumberjack.
So that ball will go all the way down to the Spartan, like 42. But there's going to be a penalty for a block in the back.
Flag on the play.
As Marcus, I think it might have been Marcus, that it wasn't much, but it was enough. And Grimaldo, I think, was pretty upset about that penalty call. It'll be a 10-yard penalty. I think St. Mary's will still get the first down. And the ball will be at the 29-yard line of St. Mary's. So still first and 10 for the Lumberjacks, just at their own 29. Penalties again have killed St. Mary's. Some big plays by the Lumberjacks. Barta looking to throw again. Going to try to escape out of the pocket. Finds his brother, and he's going to be hit right as the ball gets to him. And that was good defense by the Spartans that time. There was one earlier where I thought maybe there could have been a pass interference, but that was a clean hit right as Brock was trying to catch that. Brings up 2nd and 10 for the Lumberjacks.
Second and
And again, I go back to that one, and I think the reason they didn't throw it on it was because the Spartan was playing the ball. The defender has an equal right to that ball, and the Spartan went through the back of the Lumberjacks while watching the ball, trying to get that ball. So this time it's a counter to Grimaldo. Grimaldo picks up a few. About a 3-yard pickup. And they had him hooked around the neck there. I'm surprised it was really close to a face mask, but they didn't get the hand up there and turn his head. So just a good hard run by Julian. They managed to pick up 3 yards, and clock still ticking on the Lumberjacks. One receiver to each side of the formation. Grimaldo splits down to the near side, going to pitch it out to Dittman. Dittman going to get upended after a few-yard gain, get that up to the 35. That's going to be 4th and 4 for the Lumberjacks. I forgot that was 4th down. I'm actually kind of surprised they ran that ball, but I think that was the whole point. They're trying to make the Spartans think it was going to be a passing down and then give that little run play to see if they could catch them out of position. 4th and 4 for the Lumberjacks. Speakman to the top. Gustav to the bottom. Wide receiver. Sparta takes a snap, gets it to Grimaldo, and Grimaldo's not going to get but maybe a yard.
Grimaldo on a carry. He stops short.
The ball will go over to the Spartans. Tough night here if you're the Lumberjacks. Both the players and the coaches. This game started out as far as moving the ball, the Lumberjacks did really good in the first half of moving this ball up and down the field. But I have to believe there's 15 penalties or more against St. Mary's in this one. Some penalties I didn't even incorporate into the program because they are dead ball penalties. So, I mean, it's just been that has really hurt St. Mary's this evening. One receiver to the far side for the Spartans. Matthews in the shotgun. Fakes the handoff to Caprinko, gets it to Fugert. Fugert is brought down. I think it was Kyle Smith with the tackle. Pickup of a yard. Spartans aren't going to be in a hurry to run plays quickly. 2nd and 9 at the 35 of St. Mary's.
Second and 9 now for the Spartans.
2 receivers to the near side for the Spartans. Matthews, pistol, hands it off. Caprinko spins off of one guy, brought down by Speakman and Morris. Picks up about 3. I'll call it 4. Timeout taken, I think, by the Lumberjacks, trying to preserve some time on that clock. Lumberjacks won't, obviously, there won't be no quit in the Lumberjacks. St. Mary's still playing hard. The bad part is I do see some heads hanging a little bit on the sideline, just frustrated, I'm sure, with the way tonight's gone. This has just been a really tough penalty-wise night for the Lumberjacks. They've executed pretty well as far as the actual plays, but they've hurt themselves with the procedural side of things. I mean, a lot of false starts and illegal procedures tonight. 3rd down and 4 for the Spartans. Lumberjacks. Spartans in the pistol is Matthews. One receiver to the top. Caprinko split off to the side. Man goes in motion. Going to hand it to Caprinko. Caprinko finds a big gap. He's going to take it down the sideline. brought down by Aiden Year out, but it'll be a first down for the Spartans.
Caprico on the carry.
That ball is going to be all the way down to about the 5. Now we'll see the Spartans probably push tempo, not really push tempo, but they'll probably move their plays a little bit faster here. They probably try to get another score on the board since they're this close. Should be first and goal from the 5 for the Spartans. One receiver to the near side. Snap. Going to be try that crossbuck. Falling down is Caprinco, and they're going to throw a penalty flag. That is just the way the night has been. The Lumberjack player goes to just make sure he's down, falls on the ball carrier, and they're going to call a foul against St. Mary's. Say it's a late hit. I don't. That's just been the way of the night for the Lumberjacks. That's one of those calls that I don't know about. I mean, all he was doing was falling on the running back to make sure I know that when your knee is down, you're down, but I don't even know if a whistle is blown yet. I mean, I got my window closed. I think it's kind of cold. But that's been the way this night has gone for the Lumberjacks. I'm really curious to review film and stuff and talk to the coaches and see what they thought of it. I mean, it's just been a tough one. That'll be half the distance, and the clock is still running. Spartans, I think, just ran it. No, St. Mary's going to take a timeout. Minute 5 to go in the game. Automatic first down. Spartans will be at about the 3-yard line. And, it's just hard to – I'm not wanting to sound like I'm criticizing the officiating at all or second-guessing on them, but it has certainly been one-sided in the calls. I haven't seen St. Mary's have a game where they have this many penalties of those types in a game. So it's one of those things that makes you kind of shrug your shoulders and go, oh my goodness. And that one right there, I mean, I get it. It was a little bit of a late hit on there, but this late in the game, is there really a reason to even throw that? Well, I don't know. I don't know if that should be considered a late hit. He was just basically tackling, getting onto the ball carrier to make sure he's marked as down. So tough night for St. Mary's, man. One receiver to the near side for the Spartans. Matthews in the shotgun. Caprinco lined up to his left. Going to take the snap. Going to hand it off on that reverse kind of action. And into the end zone is the Spartans. I think it's Figert with the run. 2-yard touchdown run for the Spartans. 24-8. St. Mary's trails. Spartans going to go for 2. Snap, the handoff to Figert, and a flag comes in. The 2-point conversion's no good.
Flag down on the extra point attempt.
Waiting to see what that is. I'm sure if it's against the Spartans, that St. Mary's will decline it. So the kick is no good, or the 2-point conversion is no good. So we'll have a kickoff with 55 seconds left on the clock. Lumberjacks going to fall here tonight. They're going to drop to 0-7. Coach Rouse coming out and talking to the refs for a minute. I'm not sure if it's kind of about the penalty. Maybe he wants to assess on the kickoff. That's what it is. I think they'll assess it on if they can, since that was a holding call. but they might be doing that, and they may not be able to do that. So it's either going to be just straight decline. St. Mary's looks like we have an injured player on the sideline as well. Not sure who that is. Looks like it might be Julian. So hopefully Julian's okay. He's one of our kick returners. So we're going to have to send somebody else out in his place for the kick return.
The extra point was no good.
Julian must have gotten caught up in something down there on that last play. The Bulldogs beat the Wildcats tonight 50-22 in Kellogg. St. Mary's needs to get their kick return guys out there. Julian being checked out by Wes Rice, one of the assistant coaches, offensive line coach, and the EMT, and has been EMT, firefighter, stuff like that. So he knows his stuff. Julian has played tough tonight. So back deep for the Lumberjacks, I think it's Amato Stewart and Brock Barda for the kick return. Greisemer to kick off for the Spartans. High short kick, everybody's going to get away from it. Picking it up finally is, I believe it's Kyle Smith, and Kyle trying to get out of the grass for the Spartans, can't get it. So that'll be St. Mary's ball. At we're going to call it the 30-yard line. Looks like they're marking it right at the 30. 50 seconds on the clock. St. Mary's is going to probably try a couple of Hail Marys. The one thing I don't want to see happen here is a late turnover by St. Mary's to put a little mark in the stat book that you don't want to see. I mean, I know you want to get out here and try to get something, try to score late, but you don't want to put anything negative in your stat book either. One receiver to each side of the formation. Going to be another penalty against St. Mary's. Again, I don't know. I'm not an official. I don't know what I'm looking at, but I mean, I just don't. I don't know if you can call. I don't know. I just I don't know what they're seeing that is causing the procedural or false start calls. I am really dreading seeing this penalty total numbers at the end of this. Snap. Brock looking to throw, or Jack looking to throw. Going over the middle to Brock, and Brock will pick up about 6.
About 5.
Across the middle. I think St. Mary's has some timeouts. They're just not wanting to use them. They're going hurry up. Snap to Brock. Jack. Jack's going to look to throw. Finds Xavier at the 45.
Roadrunner reception for the Jack. And that's another Lumberjack.
First down for the Lumberjacks. They'll be calling a timeout. First down. Snap to Barda. Going deep. Looking for Gustav. And just off of his fingertips. Incomplete. Good throw. Good coverage as well. Coming up at the end of the game, we'll pick our player of the game. Sponsored by Taco About It. Taco About It player of the game. Kind of curious to see who I end up going with. I kind of have an idea who I want to go with. Early in the game, it was leaning towards maybe a Hayden DeFort possibility, but since he had that oopsie and was removed from the game, he hasn't been able to put any more stats on the board. Going to get a pass from Jack Barda, flushed, looking, tries to get the throw out. He's looking for Speakman, and there should be a penalty, and there is. Caprinko all over Marcus Speakman. tugging on his jersey, pulling him back. 3.5 seconds on the clock. St. Mary's one time for one play. Hail Mary for the end zone. It's basically all you get here. The ball going to be placed.
Interference against the Spartans.
The official has to mark it off. So probably up to the Spartan 40. The clock shouldn't start running because it was a defensive penalty. St. Mary's breaks the huddle up to the line of scrimmage. Last play of the night here, probably for the Lumberjacks. Jack Barta takes the snap. Has a pretty clean pocket. It's going to be flushed. Looking in the middle of the field. Caught by Gustav at about the 16, 17 yard line. And that's how it's going to end.
The Spartans 24, the St. Mary's Lumberjacks 8.
I'm going to put that down to about the 17, and that's how we finish the game. St. Mary's falls 24-8 here at home. Would look to be a promising start to this game with St. Mary's moving that ball pretty well and getting some good defensive stops. The penalty bug bit the Lumberjacks hard tonight, and I said it, I don't want to see what these final penalty numbers are, but we will be seeing them here in just a moment. So we'll take a break, come back with our final wrap-up and a look at those stats, our player of the game, and then we'll head on home and get ready for the final game of the season for the Lumberjacks when they host Orofino next week. So we'll be back in a few minutes.
Jack Fuel Trucking knows that there are few things as important as wise use of our natural resources. And by utilizing the chips in the manufacturing of lumber, that is exactly what is accomplished. If you look beyond the wood chips, you see an entire community of schools, churches, and businesses, and most importantly, people. Jack Fuel Trucking believes in the responsible harvesting of our natural resources. After all, when you take a close look, those aren't just chips. They're an entire community. Jack Fuel Trucking.
Sometimes accidents happen. You never thought it would happen to you, but it did. Where can you turn for that friendly hand of support? Jack's Pharmacy is your good neighbor pharmacy in St. Mary's, where you'll find personalized care. Whether you need crutches, supports, wheelchairs, or even a hospital bed, Jack's is here for you. We service both Medicare and Medicaid. If you need durable medical equipment, come to Jack's, your good neighbor pharmacy, where you'll receive personalized service and attention. Looking for future leaders we can believe in? Look no further than the high school student athletes right here in Idaho. High school sports teach young people how to be effective leaders. It includes learning to listen, accepting responsibility, being a good role model, and it's about respect. The result, it transcends sports. It gives us hope for the future. This message presented by the Idaho High School Activities Association and the Idaho Athletic Administrators Association.
And we are back. Lumberjacks fall to the Spartans. A tough night for St. Mary's, 24-8 here in Central Idaho League play. And penalty numbers, the big number here tonight. We'll get to that in a minute. So the Lumberjacks hit the numbers that Coach Rouse wants to see in a game offensively. Lumberjacks put up 340 yards tonight on 89 plays. 304 yards for the Spartans on 35 plays, so you don't want to necessarily see that. You have them held to no yardage in the first half, and they come back storming in the second half. Passing yards, St. Mary's with 153, the Spartans with 32. Rushing yards, St. Mary's with 187, the Spartans with 272 yards rushing, all in the second half. They had about 50 yards in the first half. First down, 17 for St. Mary's, 9 for the Spartans. Third down efficiency, St. Mary's 3 of 14, the Spartans 2 of 6. Fourth downs, 2 of 9 for St. Mary's, 0 of 1 for Priest River. The Spartans even turned the ball over once with the fumble. St. Mary's couldn't take advantage of that. That was late in the second half. St. Mary's, here's the big number that just destroyed the Lumberjacks tonight, and I say that as nicely as I can. 22 penalties unofficially, because I've got to go back through and check things out, but 157 yards of penalties, and that's not, you can't win a game with 157-yard penalties. St. Mary's had 3 opportunities to score in that first half, scored 1 time, And even now, when they had to overcome some penalties on it, they had an opportunity to score in the second half, I think, and they lost that one. They backed themselves up with some penalties, even though it wasn't even. That was their best drive of the night penalty-wise. They only had 2 penalties, but they were 4th and goal on like the 1-yard line. Had a holding call. It called back a touchdown. They had to reload it, 4th and 11, and 4th and goal from the 11-yard line. It's not an easy thing to do. So the same, I'm curious to find out from the coaches what they think of the penalties. It seems one-sided. 22-4 was this. Maybe a lot of stuff that is not normally called, maybe because a lot of that might have been procedural. It might have been a false start. I'm not sure, but it just seems awfully lopsided. But St. Mary's has been known this year to hurt themselves with the penalties, so I can't say the refs were calling phantom calls. Because St. Mary's has hurt themselves plenty of times this year on the penalty side of things, but tonight it was just the worst I've seen. And first time I've ever seen Coach Rouse keep the team out here on the field. They're still on. They haven't even jacked it up. The crowd's left, and coach is over there. I don't think he's chewing on them. I don't think he's giving them like a behind chewing. I think he's trying to uplift them. I think he's just saying, guys, this was a rough one for us tonight. We've got one more game. Let's focus and let's bring this thing home on senior night with a win at least. I mean, it's a tough one for them tonight. This is a game that I think another one of those ones tonight that they could have won. They could have and should have won, and it's just the penalties just blew them out of the field, blew them out of the opportunity, to be completely honest. So now let's stop talking about that part of it and take a look at the individual stats. Jack Barta, 11 of 28 passing tonight, 153 yards and a touchdown. On the ground game, it was Julian Grimaldo with 84 yards on 14 carries. He had a 2-point attempt that he got punched in. Gerard Dittman had 69 yards on 12 carries. Caden Morris, 5 carries for 24 yards. Hayden DeFort, 4 carries for 6. Jack Barta, 4 for 1. I don't know why it says Alan Wise, 1 for -11, because I don't think that was right. I don't know why that even got credited there, so I'm going to have to figure out where that was in the play and figure that out and fix that, because that's not even right. So Brock Barta had a couple carries tonight as well. In the receiving side, Gustav had 4 catches for 68 yards tonight. Hayden DeFort had 3 for 51 and a touchdown. Sloper 1 for 14 and Grimaldo 1 for 12. Defensively, Grimaldo I have unofficially because I don't have all the tackles. It's too hard to get them all because I always redo those in huddle and get those tackles updated. So we're not going to go with that tonight. Caden Morris still had a sack and a fumble recovery tonight, so good job by him. And that's about it there. So, I think I'm still going to do it. I think my player of the game tonight is going to be the freshman. I wanted to do it against Grangeville, sort of, but I couldn't because Isaiah had such a good night. And tonight, I could go with, I was thinking I could maybe go with Caden Morris. I want to give the freshman a little bit of love, I guess you could say. So we're going to talk about a player of the game tonight to Nathan George. He doesn't have like a big stat number that shows up in here, but he did have a couple of tackles tonight. He had a couple of good pass defenses, and I think that's where I'm going to go with it tonight. We're going to go with the freshman Nathan George, giving him the player of the game because that's 2 games in a row that he's done really well coming in as a freshman to play on that varsity position at cornerback. So Nathan George, talk about a player of the game. And I think that's going to wrap it up for us. Tomorrow we'll have Vandal football at 1 o'clock on Coffee Radio. Be sure to tune in for that as they host Cal Poly. Sunday we should have Seahawk football if everything goes right with our stuff there. And next Friday, final game probably of the season for the Lumberjacks. They will be hosting Orofino. Lumberjacks looking for that elusive win this season. Been a tough one for the Jacks. For Coffee Radio, I'm Tim Parrish. Have a great evening and a great weekend.
You've been listening to another production of Lumberjack Sports on KOFE 1240 St. Mary, your Lumberjack Sports Network. We thank you for tuning in and hope you enjoyed the broadcast. We also want to thank our Lumberjack Sports broadcast sponsors and hope you'll do the same. Without them, these broadcasts wouldn't be possible. Until next time, same as always, Go Lumberjack!